下，因为 Alex 你知道他这么大，马上要坐一下。Really？
人家想运动，你不要这样子。
OK。
好，那我们就从第一题开始喽。
Thank you.
I really like it.
Okay, so first question.
The first question. OK. 我们第一个问题是前线模式。
How many people played Frontline this year? Here.
有多少人有玩的前线模式？有玩过的？
And was it this or was it this or was it this? Yeah.
You really love the
People
Frontline.
like it, yeah. I liked it too. We all loved it. We had some challenges with Frontline. There are two things mainly.
有在我们开发前线模式这个游戏的时候，这个游戏模式的时候，我们有遇到一些主要的问题点，主要是有2个。
So one of the first challenges was technical. So basically we had challenges with performance in game. It's a bigger map, 30 versus 30. So causes frame rate issues, causes challenges for people who don't necessarily have high spec machines.
对，第一个最主要的问题当然就是技术上的问题，因为它有比较大的地图，然后有两边各有30个人，所以呢，它会在系统上会造成一些FPS 的掉帧的状况，然后甚至会有一些延迟的情况。那所以这个是第一个我们要克服的问题。
So that's something we've been working really hard to fix and improve.
我们当然也很努力的要解决这个问题，并改善它的情况。
And the other thing for us is, Frontline was 1 month event. It was a long event. But we were thinking, how do we bring this back permanently? Or how do we bring this back in a way that we can make it last longer?
但是大家也知道说，之前的前线模式它是维持1个月的游戏模式。那我们现在在考虑说呢，如果我们要把它带回游戏中的话呢，想要把它变成一个永久性的游戏模式，那就是要研究说我们如何做最适合的调配和安排。
So basically, we've been working on that. We've come up with a plan. We've worked on progression, on rewards. We feel we've come up with something which is really cool. And very soon, very soon, we'll be able to share all the details. But basically, yes, we love Frontline. It's coming back, so be excited about it.
所以呢，针对前线模式，我们对它的整个游戏的进程还有奖励，我们都做了一些调整。那很快，非常快的情况下，你们就会收到相关的，在官网上看到相关的资讯。
好，下一题。目前 spg 的数量单边最多限制为3台。我们遇到很多这个问题，可不可以把数值下修至2台？然后因为有的时候一边有3台，另外一边没有，很多玩家觉得这样不是很公平。那有没有类似的改善方式？
My favorite question. Every time.
大家他都知道，这是他最喜欢的问题。
So, the 2 biggest questions that we get from players, especially in Asia.
在亚洲地区，我们最常遇到玩家关心的问题就是 spg 还有分房的问题。
And I hope everyone here knows that earlier in November we launched the matchmaker test in APAC region only.
所以大家相信应该都知道，我们之前在亚洲伺服器单独做了分房系统的测试。
And I'd love to hear people's feedback about the experiment. I think it's been good. I think players have really liked it.
所以对于最近新的分房测试的结果，大家的反应是如何？喜欢吗？或者觉得 OK？ OK。
Nice. But I think for me the most important thing is that also this is an example of Asia being able to do some of our own things, some of the things we want to do, run some experiments that we think will work well in our region, in our area.
所以这也是一个我们第一次有这个机会呢，我们单独测试一些针对亚洲所设置的一些调整，然后以更适合亚洲的玩家。
So Matchmaker will continue to work on it. It's a never-ending job.
所以我们也是会持续的继续在改良改善我们现有的分法，因为它是一个我们会一直是持续在处理的项目。
And one of the things we are working on is to avoid this issue where you have imbalance of For example, one light tank in one team and no light tanks in another, or imbalance of SPGs.
处理情况。
So the next step now for me is what do we do with SPGs? And it's a big topic with the development team, with the design team. It's one of the biggest topics for us right now.
所以目前Alex 也很积极的跟开发团队、跟设计团队在讨论 SPG 这个问题，确实它是一个非常重要的问题。
So it actually gets very emotional debates in the development team. One of the questions is, do we just reduce the number of SPGs? And there's a lot of argument whether that would actually be effective or not.
所以在开发团队之中有相当热烈的讨论，然后你知道战斗民族吗？所以我们也要知道说，这样子如果就算我们减少它的数量，它是不是真的会有效果？
So for example, we used the experience with rank battles where we only have 2 SPG limit, and we analyzed the data on how that influenced.
所以我们利用了在排名战中的这个限制，排名战中它是限制为2台 SPG 双边，所以我们分析了它的数据，然后我们去了解说它实际上是否有造成对游戏造成什么影响。
And it tells us that potentially there's more work that we need to do beyond just changing the number of SPGs. And that's something what we're looking at right now is how do we actually potentially rebalance the whole gameplay of SPGs.
所以呢，根据排名战显示的整个数据，我们分析过后，我们发现说，其实即使减低了数量，但是我们还是有很多东西需要去调整，不单单只是 SPG 的问题。所以我们现在正在处理这个方面，朝向这方面的方向去努力去改善、去调整。
So what I can say is, right now we're collecting data on the matchmaker experiment. Next year, we are planning some further experiments for Asia only. And I'm working very hard with the development team for us to look at potential experiments with SPG as well. So I'd like to say Q1, Q2, so first half of next year, we'll be looking to do something along those lines too.
所以 Alex 现在也是正在持续的跟开发团队沟通，那我们会持续依照我们现在新的这个现有版本的分法去收集分析相关数据，然后相信在明年的前半年，我们会有机会推出一些不同的调整，而且是亚洲地区特定的调整。
Well, let me ask a question though. Who does play SPG? Right?
谁有玩 SPG 的？
And who enjoys playing SPG? SPG is fun, yeah? Right, so this is the challenge for us as developer. For everyone who complains about SPG, there's somebody else who loves SPGs.
这么多人举手就知道，我们有爱 SPG 的，也有恨 SPG 的。那要如何取得这个平衡呢？这是相当难的一个问题。
跟刚刚一样啊。
OK， 好，下一题，第3题，可不可以控制加值弹药数？就是玩家会俗称的金弹数，因为他们觉得太泛滥了，破坏了游戏平衡。你看，我们今天问的是不是真的都是大家就是很多问的问题
Okay, so APCR. Well, for this part, the game balance part, I personally don't agree with because the game has been balanced with APCR. So it's not a question of game balance. What we have right now, the challenge we have with what used to be called gold shells is they affect the strategy of the game.
所以其实原本 APCR 这个弹种，它就是在游戏设计当初原本就有考量到的东西，它其实不至于说是平衡的问题，而是在于说，由于 APCR 这个弹种可以去让你选择。概念是说呢，我们希望让玩家在面对不同情况的时候有多一个选择，多一个机会。
But right now, most of the difference for APCR is more of an economic decision, right?
对，然后现在来说，只是看你口袋的深度而已。
So, as you know, earlier this year we removed gold for the cost of shells. We turned it into credits. That was step 1.
所以第一步大家也应该也都知道，我们现在取消了用金币购买加值弹药的这个功能。
And now the next stage of this rebalancing of our ammo is to make APCR a choice you would use in certain situations because of your strategy, rather than just a choice you would make from an economy perspective.
所以下一步呢，我们就是要试着去调整 APCR 这个弹种或是其他价值弹药的这个弹种的效能，变成说你会在特殊情况的时候，你会想到使用它，但是不会因为你口袋很深，你就一直用它。
But you have to also think that rebalancing the whole game if you try to change the parameters of APCR is very complicated. You have 500 plus tanks that have been balanced with the system, and now you're saying, what if we remove APCR, or we remove the damage from APCR, or penetration? Suddenly, lots of tanks are affected in different ways. So it's a big question.
所以相信大家也知道，我们现在有将近500辆的战车，然后都有基于价值弹药这样的设定下去做进行平衡。那如果你一夕之间你把这样子的弹药拿走了，那会影响到很多车辆它原本的表现，还有它的效能。
So we have a solution now that we feel relatively comfortable with, and we're going to share more of the information. We're not just going to introduce it because we want to get feedback from players on this solution. We'll share it. If we feel that it's the right way to go, we'll introduce it as an experiment again, and then we might make it permanent.
那目前呢，其实这个问题我们已经有一些相关的，以及有一个完整的我们预期的方案出来，我们将会不是现在，将会分享给大家，然后我们也不会直接就套用在游戏里面，我们会先针对这个方案，然后分享给玩家，然后听取玩家的回馈的意见，然后针对这个意见去调整，然后在最适合的情况下，我们才会推出并进行测试。
I expect most of the details on this to be available by end of this year.
所以相关的讯息基本上在今年年底之前，也就是12月30号之前，大家会有机会看到相关的讯息。应该说是一定会的。
So we've already done SPGs, matchmaking, and we're already talking about big changes potentially for the game going forward.
所以关于像分房啊、SPG 的平衡啊，然后价值弹药这些啊，其实我们已经一直持续的在进行改善或者是讨论。那我们会尽快的把这些相关的改变分享给大家。还有更多。
好，下一题。香港伺服器比之前更不稳定。最糟糕的时候，曾经有20位玩家同时断线，可以解决吗？
So I don't know about this, to be honest. I haven't heard about this. Okay, I want to ask a question again. Who has better connection now that they connected Hong Kong versus SG server?
所以目前来说，整体来说，比起以前在新加坡伺服器的时候，有哪些人觉得你现在的连线是比以前好
Better? Better. Okay, this is important for us to know because So this is something we're hearing, that there are these issues with packet loss. We're working, actually, hopefully within the next week, we have another layer of improvement coming for the Hong Kong server. Should be coming next week, I believe. And then the plan for next year is to do another level of upgrades in the beginning of on the first half of 2019, Q1. That's the plan.
针对近期的连线的问题，我们已经收到很多回报。我们在这一个礼拜内，我们都已经一直在调整，根据玩家回报的讯息。那在下1-2个月内，我们会有再更进一步的升级跟调整。然后在明年第一季，我们还会再继续进行升级跟调整。
So yeah, I mean, this is a big change as well for us. You know, we had one server in Singapore covering the whole region, and that was causing us a lot of problems, challenges, not just for ping, but also for connectivity, for lag, players playing in different parts. You know, we are a huge geographical region. So now we've moved to this, having a Hong Kong server and an ANZ periphery as well. We're expanding our coverage. It takes time. We're evolving it and we're upgrading it. We hope that the experience will be better and better into next year.
所以这是在以往的话，我们只有新加坡伺服器的时候，我们必须要涵盖能够提供服务涵盖很广大的一个范围。那现在的话，我们分为香港跟澳洲伺服器之后，我们可以比较有效的去 服务这些不同的地区玩家。那我们之后也会持续的针对这部分进行升级，毕竟从一个伺服器分到2个伺服器，然后要去服务更多更大范围的玩家，会需要一些比较复杂的手续和进程。
OK， 好，下一题。目前的 RNG 是25%，然后可不可以再下修数值？因为这种运气开发的成分，很多玩家觉得不适合竞技游戏。
No.
简洁明了的回答。Very simple answer.
It's a simple answer. I mean, this is a core part of the game, and yeah, we're gonna keep it as it is. It works well. I think we're happy with it. So, next question.
OK， 好。第6题，流失的老玩家抱怨游戏体验不好。那所谓游戏体验不好，觉得说，比如说任务重复无聊，老是打的都是一样的，没有什么再值得继续玩下去的动力。官方现在有没有什么改进是针对老玩家的？
没有，这个我帮。
This is one, but okay. So, beginning of this month, we did 10th anniversary giveaway.
对，那我们大家也应该都知道，我们在这个月的开始的时候，我们进行我们有提供了一个10周年的一个玩家回馈活动。
And now every time I go into battle and I see all the people who have their 5-year, 6-year beta, players who've been with us really since we launched the server here in Asia.
所以说他现在最近这几天在玩游戏的时候，有发现很多玩家是前面都有挂5年、6年，甚至是 beta 玩家的特殊的 badge 徽章在上面，在他的前面。
So I think we're really blessed as a team, as a World of Tanks team, to have players who stayed with us for so long and have been with us through all the changes the game has gone through. It's pretty rare for any game to last as long as we have.
所以 Alex 真的觉得非常感谢我们有这么多玩家愿意在这么长的时间一直支持我们，毕竟战车世界也不小。
But it isn't just about lasting. It's the fact that even this year we launched 1.0, for example. We rebuilt the game from scratch. We're preparing for the next years of running the game.
所以当然我们也不是说就只会满足于战车世界这个品牌。像我们今年的话，我们推出1.0，就是基于我们想要重新打造这个游戏的一个想法。
But if we do those things and all the players leave, then it's pointless.
但当然的话，如果说玩家不买账的话，我们也是没必要。
So, of course, player retention and this concept of player retention is at the center of everything we do. And for me, anyway, personally, what player retention means is giving players quality gameplay that they enjoy, giving them progression in the sense of a progression through the game, good rewards for what they're doing in game, and basically giving them lots of cool things and new things, toys to play with and blow up. That's to me the core of our game.
所以对于 Alex 来说，他希望说，我们能提供更完整的玩家历程，让玩家有更良好的游戏体验。毕竟终究，我们的游戏是要给玩家有趣的游戏体验，他们喜欢的游戏，然后玩家留下来，这才是最重要的。
So right now what we're working on is looking at all the different types of game modes that we have, the different areas that senior players play, players who are just joining our game, players who have been with us maybe a year but not quite sure, where to go next. We're looking at all of those different separately. And we're saying, okay, so players who've been with us 5 or 6 years, what sort of challenges are they looking for? We have Clan Wars. We have a big roadmap of changes for Clan Wars next year.
所以我现在也在或者新玩家，或者是有一些还不太确定的玩家，那甚至包含 Clan Wars 是其中一个部分。那我们也在去了解说，我们要如何从这些不同的模式给不同玩家适合的游戏体验。
So then we're also looking at how to make clans generally easier to get into, easier to participate in, that you don't necessarily have to spend as much time as you have in the past.
那我们也包含说，我们对于工会功能的一些调整，说让玩家可以更容易加入工会，然后你也可以更轻松的待在一个工会里面，然后你的朋友一起游玩，而不是像以往你需要花费更多的时间和精神。
But then beyond that, we're also introducing, so we've had front lines, we had marathons this year, we introduced these new concepts of like the winter marathon that we're running now. We're going to keep expanding on those type of concepts, both the winter marathon style or like the curse marathon, like these very different approaches, different ways to play the game with different rewards.
所以这也是为什么我们持续的在推出像前线模式这样的游戏模式，还有包含说像我们一些库斯克马拉松或者今年的冬季马拉松，这些让玩家可以同时不同的玩家都可以去一些不同的游戏模式。
Some of you may have seen we had a battle royale event earlier this year. That's something we're also looking at. Basically, what I can say is that next year we're going to have more events, more activities, more in-game fun things to do than we've ever had in World of Tanks. So for us, it's going to be the busiest year in terms of activities, game modes, for players to enjoy and rewards to receive. So that's our focus for next year, really.
所以大乱斗模式就是对RNG那种类似大乱斗模式，那这我们也会在明年，应该可能也许大概会推出这样的模式，然后。明年计划是非常的满，那我们会有各种不同、很多很丰富的不同。那我们也持续朝向说，能够让这个游戏对新手更与友善的方向去进行。
We introduced boot camp, we introduced advanced training, but still, you know, it's hard for new players to join our game. And that's something we're still going to be working on.
对，当然我们也知道说，其实我们推出了新兵训练营、或者是进阶训练。这样子的功能，但是相对来其他游戏来说，我们还是属于比较困难的游戏。那我们也会持续的朝向针对这个方向去调整，去改善新手体验。
So hopefully, with all the changes that we're bringing, we can keep everybody playing the game who's playing now. They can keep playing, and maybe we can bring back some of the older players as well, and encourage some new players to join.
对，当然我们还是很希望说，我们不但可以留住大部分现在还在游戏中的玩家，然后更进一步可能。找回一些我们以前流失的玩家，并鼓励其他新的玩家一起加入战车世界。
好，第7题，挂机情况变得更严重了，有没有更好的机制解决
？Really? Really? Is it getting worse? Yeah, I'm asking the question. Yeah.
Whoever 觉得变严重的举手。Okay, let's say it's because it's connection.
Well, that's the thing. Okay, so what is it to be AFK? Okay, AFK means you're away from your keyboard. We get that. But why does it happen? It happens for a number of reasons. Sometimes it might be because you just disconnected. You had an error, hardware error, software error, or your mom called you for dinner. You know, there's so many reasons why you could innocently go AFK. And then there are people who go AFK because they want to do something bad, right? To be able for us to determine like which one is which, it's an impossible task, right? So what we try and do is build the game so that it encourages you to play and participate and actually engage in battle. But for us, like to try and be very hard on players who AFK will inevitably hit players unfairly because of reasons that are out of their control.
前面大家听得懂我那套过吗？不需要解释吗？反正就是说，因为 AFK 的原因这么多种，真的有可能你可能真的临时尿急。所以假如说我们对于 AFK 这样子的侦测机制或者是处罚做得太严格的话，也许你可能真的只是你可能只是断线啊，可能只是真的被妈妈叫去掉大垃圾啦，或者是怎样的时候。你有可能因为这样被处罚到，你也许不是故意，你也许真的遇到一些软硬体的问题，可能会造成这样的情况。我不希望因为过度延伸去伤害到一般正常的玩家。
So please, if AFK is in your team, you know, try harder. It's an extra challenge. And if the AFK is in the other team, hooray! That's free kill for you. So enjoy.
所以你这边有 AFK 的时候。加把劲，然后如果刚好在对面，那就耶。
OK， 好，下一题，可以调整 RFL 地图的平衡或是重置。
AFL，
sorry， 这个地图目前对大多数玩家来说相对无聊跟单调。
Okay, so I admit I like it. I think I like it. But everyone has their own opinions. You don't like it? Okay. So we do get a lot of feedback on Airfield. Right now, honestly speaking, we have a big list of maps that we're still working on. Airfield is not part of it at the moment. So right now, Airfield will stay as is.
就是当然有喜欢的就有讨厌，然后大部分都会被玩家讨厌的呢，会在我们准备修改的名单上。那像这个呢，目前对我们来说，我们收到的回馈是一半一半的呢，它暂时是会留在现况。但是假如你真的觉得这个地图有问题，欢迎写回报单。但是每次我都要提醒大家，但是你写回报单的时候，不要只有一句 "Airfield 无聊，改"，没这回事哦。你要给我们理由，正当的理由，不要跟我说因为我蹲草常常被点亮，这不是理由。像我不喜欢的原因是，我觉得他进攻路线很局限。对，但是看个人。
It have huge problem of It have huge problem about SPG in HT line.
What?
Heavy tanks will be punished by SPG on that map.
Heavy tanks are always punished by SPGs. That's their job.
Heavy tanks can't hide from SPG. They will always get hit by SPG on that map.
So be happy when you're an SPG on that map. That can do really well. I mean, I understand, but it's okay. Sorry.
我觉得这张图最大的问题是通常线跟我内方没有清楚，所以导致说大家都不理解。我比较建议就是说跟你就是借由就是胜利跟失败的方面去分析他们的进攻路线或什么。那你其实大部分的时候你都可以发现，就是赢的那一方通常是比较被动、比较防守。那其实你这个地图的进攻路线真的老实讲真的太单调，所有的路线会被 TD 会被炮车架死。那你通常 HT 硬推的时候，除了中间的地方跟 K 号线，以前 K 号线是可以推的，就是海岸线那边是可以推的。那现在地图改掉之后，最下面那条反而被拿掉了。那你现在中间只剩下中台线，那所有的东西中台线赢了，它也不见得会赢，因为也推不出来。
Is that the revenge of you said the coastline attacking our kind of like coast because of the GBs you can shoot directly from the coastline. And if you push from the middle line, you kind of like tend to be you get a bottleneck situation, powered by SPG and DD.
But it's interesting, for example, what we've seen since, and again, this is just for Asia, but since we did the matchmaker experiment, we see a lot more successful pushes on the coastline and airfield than we used to. So now that we moved out of 357, you see a lot more aggressive play on that part of the map. It's changed a lot. So again, when we make changes, we have to wait and see what happens, right? It's affecting the way the game is played. And generally, we see more aggressive play on airfield now in the new matchmaker. So now we want to watch that a bit before we try to think about making changes.
所以就像你刚提到的数据分析，其实我们有做。所以那在我们改成现在的新的分法，我们会有比较多加1的房。那在加1的房的战斗数据上，其实我们发现更Airfield 的进攻方就主动进攻方获胜的几率也跟着提高了。所以我们必须去了解各个改变之间的相关系。
Well, one of the things that we're now looking at for the matchmaker for next year is actually thinking about, okay, it's not just about the matchmaker, but it needs to be map dependent as well. So the map actually really should affect setup of the different your team.
所以我们关于这一点，我们也有认识到说，其实地图跟分法之间有很强的关联性。所以明年的分房的系统调整的计划中，也会包含到说会去考虑说这张地图是否会比较适合比较特定的分法格式，而不是说单纯的只有一套完全的标准。
For now, it stays. For now.
目 前我们会先放着，但是不代表我们不会就会不管它。
好，最后一题，有没有可能贩售官方周边产品，如背包、徽章或是滑鼠贴？
不是淘宝就有。没有开玩笑，开玩笑，那些是我们不希望看到的，因为真的有听说，我有看过，但是。
Yes, I mean, we want to. Basically, we distribute what products in EU, in Europe right now, and we're looking for a distributor that we can work with for Asia. We haven't found one that can work with all our markets. So we're trying to find someone to work with. If we can, yeah, we'd like to.
对，目前的状况是说，我们最初目前是在俄罗斯和欧洲，其实我们有这个
代理商
贩售通路。但是目前在亚洲，我们比较没有这样适合贩售通路。第一个是因为亚洲很分散，然后不同的国家、不同的法律，但是我们会持续的找适合的贩售通路。然后，如果我们可以有很好的合作的伙伴的话，我们就会在这边进行相关产品的贩售。
好，下一张麻烦一下，下一张，现场提问。
I have 3 questions. First one, tier 10 lights. The shell penetration drop off. It needs a buff.
That's not a question.
Not a question. 它不是问题，它是要求。
Second one, skilled ammo. Don't do it like this, please.
请用中文，谢谢。
对 ，skill ammo。
就是金弹，不要改得像闪击战一样。
对 ，whole wing we are not changing the premium ammos like blades.
就是砍伤害。
nerve damage.
Why not?
对，就像我刚提的，你要回应，你要告诉我 why。
就是像假如说发接打时间之类的，就是一定得用金弹，还有轻弹。像我ELC 1分9，我就全部带金。
确定八阶打时间一定要用金弹？
轻弹的穿身175你打。
所以你全部都是轻弹啊？就是你第一个问题跟第二个问题都是轻弹啊？我们要了解清楚。
算是。
So the first question is related to the second question. Both for light tanks. So you said for light tanks, you have to use premium ammo in order to create damage to your tank.
So I have a question. Do you like playing light tanks? Yeah. Okay.
I only play light tanks.
You only play light tanks. Okay. These questions now make sense. Okay.
现在感觉比较有道理，总算听懂。
And please don't put more N9 tanks. Please.
So were any of those actually a question, or were they just three statements? Okay, thank you though. Okay, understood. Thanks.
那等一下，我问一下，如果动漫战争 no enemy tank， 那如果出那个少年战车嘞？
买。
OK，真的。
Chance， 轻轻。
We will have loot box in this year's Christmas event, right? We can buy loot box.
Right.
So how do we get from this year's loot box?
What will we get?
Yes, like previous year we have type 59. So how do we get
video
this year?
他是讲说 content 或是 ingredient 是不是 ？Yeah, maybe the content. 你是要问说盒子里面会包含什么东西
Yes.
What do we include in the loot box?
So the video is not out yet, which means technically I can't say what
还不
is
能
in
剧
them.
透，还不能剧透。
I can say, what can I say? I can say There
You
will
want to be
be.
the Santa Claus?
Huh?
You want to be the Santa?
I think I'm already halfway there. Yeah. What I can say is that there will be a unique tank, and there will also be some very unique new. New stuff. Some new stuff that you've never seen before. It was never seen before in World of Tanks. First time.
所以就是我们会有至少会包含一辆非常特殊的车辆，再来就是会有一些你在战车世界里面从来还没看过的新东西在里面。但是我们不能多说，过一阵子会有一个影片出来，请大家持续关注官网新闻。
好踊跃。
能不能让训练房这种东西可以一个人进去玩，不要一定要有一个好朋友？毕竟玩家会比较需要去看。
You want to have a solo training room feature?
因为我们想要对地图更了解，如果一定要找一个人的话，比较麻烦。
For understanding the map, so if he's only alone, his friends not around, or he doesn't have any friends.
不然就是可以跟 AI 玩，自己设定对面要哪一些 AI， 这样子就可以一个人的训练。
Okay. Yeah, I mean we're looking at. So you should know that when we made the matchmaker changes, we also introduced bots to the ANZ server, and that's something we're testing right now. We're testing how. Also with events like the Halloween events, we've tested PvE. So all of this is for us to understand what we can do with those technology in the game. And potentially one of the areas where we can use it is for things like training as well. So it's something we're looking at. We're not close, so we're not ready for any kind of introduction at this point, but it is something we're working on.
所以大家应该也知道说，我们针对这次的分房改版测试，我们也针对了澳洲伺服器有推出机器人的这个机能。那针对这机能，我们也是不断的在测试，像是万圣节活动这些的。那包含说，它也确实很适合运用在训练房，只是我们必须要了解它对这个功能更多的特性，因为毕竟它是机器人，但是也是一个人在伺服器上面，所以我们会持续的进行调整，然后会考虑，我们不会说不，但是我们会考虑，然后看视情况，我们会加入这样的。
3个问题。第一个问题是 three questions. First one. 你们有考虑加入联合作战这种游戏模式在战车世界里面，类似战舰世界那样子 ？COOP.
PVE mode or constant permanent PVE mode for
Just like World of Warship COOP.
这个问题跟前一个训练房的问题的答案是一样的。
那有变成，所以是变成说只能在训练房里面打，还是说会有收益？
不是 PVE 的问题是在于 bot 它是一个很大的技术问题，所以这也是跟刚刚的问题是一样的。这是一个机会，我们会用，但是我们需要去更多的去研究和了解。
那第二个问题就是。644这辆战车已经出现在中国线，那有没有考虑说让中华民国的标语标志可以使用在中国线？例如说三民主义统一中国，或者是海军陆战队的国徽、军徽可以放在中国线。因为这样很奇怪，为什么只能使用在美国线，中国却不能使用呢？
看，因为他会回去再研究。
希望可以，因为像
我也希望，但是我们尽量，就是你也知道很敏感，但是我们会尽力争取。
好，了解。这是一个类似前一个的问题，有没有考虑在中国线加入中华民国战车的支线？因为其实我国军的车子并不也是很多，国造或改造的也很多。为什么没有办法做出一个就像战舰世界有一个泛亚线？
我们接着时间。He asked if we can add a sub-branch in China Tech Tree for all of the RC Army tanks. Yeah, like we have the modified M48, we have the chassis of the M42. And then we have a lot of those things that he believes is enough for the sub-branch for RC only in China Tech.
Okay, well, from right now I can say that if I look at the tank list for next year, we're pretty much set. But having said that, that's again something, a request that I can raise and see if it's doable. The thing we need to think about is it's also about, this is a big focus for us next year, is introducing tanks that have interesting gameplay and mechanics. And that's going to be the focus for next year. If it looks like these tanks could provide something interesting from a gameplay perspective, another treat.
所以目前明年的车子的计划，其实到现在其实都已经大致拟定了。那我们会参考看看是不是有比较有趣的车辆。毕竟我们大家都知道，我们有很多兄弟姐妹流落在不同的国家，对，不管苏联、美国。所以我们目前的方向是朝向说，我们希望找出更多有趣的车辆，而不是单纯只是重复或者是。对，我插一根炮管，多插一根机枪就代表就改过就上来，这样子不好。不幸争执了。
不好意思，因为时间的关系，所以我们大概剩2到3个问题左右，所以等下请大家问。
哦，公会问题来，公会问题找我。
日本工会基本上都是日本工会垄断。
没有，是澳洲工会。
北，那我们不管它时区问题，我是以我们时区为主哦。
南边是日本跟韩国。
对，好，那因为我们台湾的工会玩家哦，因为参加也比较少，其实参加比较少的原因呢，我是给一个建议啦。因为第一个进入门槛太高了，因为你一次要实现一个结盟的问题，那我说实在话，不太会跟韩国人结盟啦。对啊。
那为什么不能找台湾人结盟？
台湾人就没什么人在打。因为门槛，
日本工会都有相同的问题，所以明年，我接工会站的管理已经接1年多，中间有很多很挣扎，然后我们一直撞墙，一直跟 HQ 吵架，一直跟他们争取。我们的困难是我们人数比较少，我们横跨8个时区，其实甚至更长，如果把印度加进去的话，是到12个时区去了。所以呢。这个部分我们其实在1整年我做了很多调整和测试，那确实进入门槛高是一个问题，所以明年的方向我会调整成说，8阶我会让它回归到根据地，世界地图我让它集中在10阶，但是是以10打10跟15打10的模式。然后为什么要这样做？其中的原因，你们可能觉得说，8阶很轻松，可以进去啊，我买条车就进去了。可是那不代表这个做法适合工会战，对吧？适合世界地图，因为世界地图它是在一般玩家可以玩到的游戏内容的顶端。这也是为什么我们会给10阶奖励战车的原因。你要赢得那个奖励，你必须要付出。所以我们必须秉持这个理念，即使我知道这很痛苦。我自己练10阶车也是练得很累，我也不能一开口就跟总部说，你给我一台 M60，我很想要，连我都没有。所以我们了解到这样的问题，但是以前我们有一个状况就是我们这个游戏模式很分散、零散，所以明年的目标我会把它整个工会的进程把它串起来，然后 HQ 也很刚好的在明年开始会有一系列新的功能的。工会功能的调整和 如说在明年工会你会有一些额外的参加工会，只要有活动，不见得一定要打工会战，就会有一些辅助或奖。所以感谢你给我这个问题，但是我有这个机会跟大家分享。然后我们明年会有更多的调整，然后我也会持续的想办法为台湾玩家、为其他的玩家来让大家可以有更多的机会去加入公会战，去体会工会战。